So, hey guys, the security guys in large IT organizations sort of look at app dev that they have all the security tools needed. So once they check in their code, magic, it appears into production. Do we have to be concerned about CI/CD and security?
Well, Mark, magic is a poor security strategy. And I think the key here is that as we spend more time thinking about software supply chains and the application lifecycle, it's really critical that we be able to look end to end across that complete lifecycle from the moment code first gets built and committed all the way through to production. And clearly right in the middle of that sits the CI/CD process, that delivery and deployment activity. And you can't claim to look at security holistically end to end if you aren't paying attention to what's happening in that portion of the process.
Yeah, David, I couldn't agree with you more. I think, as we look at what happens from build and as it moves from left to right, I think, there are three things we got to keep in mind. We've got to make sure that we are complying. We have to make sure that we are tracking that compliance. So there's checks, there's reporting, and then there's enforcement. We have to make that decision as to whether or not something can be deployed based on those previous two. So I think that's hyper important, and it doesn't stop at build.
Well, what's cool about it is I think the deployment process is kind of a unique place to do that, right? Because all code has to be deployed at some point. So that gives you that point of control you didn't have before.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing we have to recognize is that dynamic landscape of the threats, right? So the bad guys have figured out that people tend to ignore things once the build happens, because then it's just going through a process, right? So the bad guys have figured that out, and that's where they're attacking.
Okay. No bad guys.